I'm Caesar Pink. Welcome to my channel. I'm happy you're going to explore some new music with me today. All the proceeds from this channel are donated to the Arete Living Arts Foundation, a 501c3 arts nonprofit. The foundation does a lot of great work helping struggling artists and presenting innovative and meaningful art. We believe art is education, and we believe art is activism. You can learn more about our work at aretellivingarts.org or at the link below. Most of the art we see on a daily basis is presented by large corporations and promotes a message they want you to hear. We believe it is important to fund artists who are independent individuals and who express things that speak to the concerns of everyday people. Please like and subscribe. It's an easy way to help us build our channel. Or if you'd like to donate, you can join our Patreon or make a one-time donation via PayPal. It would be greatly appreciated. Today we're going to look at an artist by the name of Jason Aldean. The song is called Try That in a Small Town. I haven't heard the song, but I've heard about it. Apparently there's some controversy surrounding it. Let's see what it's all about.
Sucker punch somebody on a sidewalk, carjacking old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool if you like.
Well, so far the lyrics have been sucker punch somebody on a street, carjack an old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool? Well, act like a fool if you like. So far, there's nothing in these lyrics that seem problematic. These are things that I think we all agree should never happen. One thing interesting to me about this is labeled as country music, but it just sounds like medium tempo rock music. I'm actually a big fan of traditional country music. People like Hank Williams Sr., Patsy Cline, Bill Anderson, Johnny Cash. Mainly pre-1965 era country music, but I don't really understand why this is labeled country. It almost seems like if a singer puts on a cowboy hat and maybe sings a certain type of lyric, they call it country, even though musically it really isn't. It doesn't follow the rhythms or style of traditional country music. But let's see where it goes.
Fool if you like, cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough? Well, try that in a small town, see how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't try that in a small town.
Now the lyrics get a bit more interesting. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on a flag, light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough? Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. This is obviously a threat of violence against protesters. Now keep in mind, there's no law against stomping on a flag or burning a flag. In fact, it's protected under the First Amendment. When I was in college, I co-directed a documentary film about the issue. It's called Politic America. I'll put a link to it down below. To use violence to censor political speech is a dangerous thing. Forced nationalism is fascism. Please think about that. Forced nationalism is fascism. Patriotism kind of scares me. Patriotism turns nationalism into a religion. Now, I believe we have a responsibility to take care of our country. I believe that within a democracy, we have a duty to educate ourselves so that we can be informed voters. But educating yourself is hard work. And a lot of the people who are spouting these patriotic slogans aren't willing to do the hard work to educate themselves about the world. It's much easier to blindly believe the rhetoric of some politician and then just repeat it like an obedient sheep. The other thing about this is, I grew up in a small town. I can tell you there was a lot of criminal activity in that small town. Yet right-wing politicians and media like to paint cities as being dens of iniquity where you are not safe to walk down the streets. I live in New York City. I feel safe to walk down the streets at any hour. But let's get back to the music.
Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town full of good old boys, raised up right. If you're looking for a fight, try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't.
As the song goes on, the lyrics become more aggressive. Around here, we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Again, he's outright threatening people with violence. He's pretending to be an old-fashioned macho man tough guy. I think he sees himself as Clint Eastwood with a guitar instead of a gun. He goes on, got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're going to round them up. Now he's just being absurd and paranoid. No one has ever suggested taking away people's hunting rifles or their guns for home protection. It's just bullshit, really. He continues, well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck. Try that in a small town. Now the video is showing protesters being beaten by police and beaten by, I'm not sure who they are. The lyrics are, full of good old boys raised upright. If you're looking for a fight, try that in a small town. Now what does he mean by good old boys? What comes to mind when you hear the term good old boys? I think we all picture the same thing. To me, this just sounds like dog whistle racism. And the phrase raised upright is interesting. Does raised upright mean to use violence to stop people who have different political views than you do? How can people not see how anti-American this is? It goes against all the values that the Founding Fathers enshrined in the Constitution. And it's bizarre, people wave the flag while speaking against everything that makes America great. And it's ironic, after expressing a pretense of being for law and order, he is promoting criminal activities. But let's see what's next.
Try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. Ooh, try that in a small town.
I just realized he and the band are performing in front of what looks to be the courthouse or a Capitol building. So he's really making a statement about standing with the authority of government power. And some of the imagery is very interesting. It goes from white children playing in a backyard to Marines or military people walking heroically to hunters shooting guns. And the images look like they were from Shutterstock or one of those websites where you can buy generic images for a few bucks. It's all very cliche, cheesy imagery used for blatant propaganda. Now, on the issue of why this is labeled as country music, as it goes on, it becomes more and more like heavy rock. It's kind of a power ballad promoting right-wing politics. Another ironic thing is that the singer's voice has a pitch correction effect on it. I think of country music as being natural, down home and real. The image of country music has always been about being from a country lifestyle and against technology and modernity taking over our personal lives. Pitch correction makes the voice sound less human. It's a very strange choice for country music. But this kind of tough guy posturing is really adolescent. Look at a guy trying to be a bully, and you'll find a guy who is insecure about his masculinity. It's how it always is. It's the basic psychology of overcompensation. But I can tell you from experience, this kind of mindset does lead to violence. It does lead to bullying. Just look at January 6th for what it can lead to. When I was a kid, I was bullied by adults with this mindset quite often. Once when I was a teenager, I pulled into a KFC parking lot, and before I could get out of the car, a guy leaned into my window and started threatening me. His beef was that he didn't like the way I dressed. He tried to pull my keychain out of the ignition and broke the key. I had a razor knife at hand and I thought of cutting him, but then I thought it would just lead to more trouble and I might be charged with being the aggressor. So instead I jumped out the passenger door and ran into the back door of the KFC and called the police. The police came and talked to him and then let him go without any charges. After all, he was just a good old boy. But I experienced that kind of thing a lot. And remember, conservatism goes hand in hand with conformity. So anyone who looks different in any way becomes a target. It's really kind of a psycho-authoritarian mindset that appeals to cowards. But all in all, this is just generic corporate rock promoting fascism. And to you, Jason Aldean, my name is Caesar Pink. Come to my block and walk down the street threatening people with violence. I bet you ain't got the courage.
Baby,